Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Todd. I'm the youth director here, and this is SBCCYM. So our youth ministries here at South Bay Community Church. And man, this is something new that we haven't done before, and we're here with two special guests. This is Taylor and Kylie, two of our awesome high school leaders or advisors. And today we're going to be answering and discussing some different questions surrounding dating. Usually I've shared a message, Pastor James has shared, Kyle's going to share, but we don't normally get to have like a woman's perspective on some of these different things. So that's why this is really cool. But on a woman's perspective, like, what's the ideal way to get asked out? Kylie, do you have any thoughts on that? Is it this big extravagant thing, or
No.
like for some of the high school boys, or I don't know, middle school boys that are watching this?
Just like you two, like you and like the other person is fine, but face to face.
Not
They're,
back
like,
to back.
No, not back to But like their text messages, you can like you don't know if they're being like excited or sad. Like
You can't hear the tone.
Yeah, the tone.
Seeing a person
Because
is nice.
what if you just DM, you're like, is this a prank? Is this actually them?
That's true. That's true. It can be like, oh, my bad, my brother was texting
Yeah,
or something.
ha ha ha, just kidding.
Yeah, oh, good one, dude. So here's another good question. What if you don't like someone, but they like you?
Do they tell you that they like you or not?
Sure. Let's go with that.
I think you just have to be honest.
That's nice.
You gotta like, if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. And I think it's better, of course it's gonna hurt to hear that news, but like it's better for them to know, so that they can like manage their expectations, And also, if you are the person that isn't reciprocating the feelings, you should also like just be aware of how you interact with that person going forward, because you don't want to like lead them on.
Yep.
Just, I don't know, honesty is good.
That's good. Honesty is good. And I think that goes in part with like, because the Bible teaches us to love others and to love God. And that's part of loving others, is just really being honest and being truthful, not, like leading someone on or not just dragging it or just ignoring it too. I think that could be pretty hurtful for a certain side.
Yeah, and I think that's like a really vulnerable thing.
Right,
especially
right.
if you're gonna like tell that person you like them. So you don't want to like embarrass them or like, mock them
So
or
should
something.
that be done face to face too? Like kind of like how the asking out, or?
Well, it depends. Like, are they telling you in person? Like,
That's
hey,
true,
I
that's
like
hard.
you. Then you're like, oh, sorry, no. Or like, I don't know.
That's true. I mean, has that ever happened to you guys? Like, someone just walks up to you and is like, "Hey, I like you."
No.
Same. So I mean, I don't know if that makes us. Maybe some students that's happened to them, and it's a good thing. That's good. That's good. Another question that came up was, this is a good one. How can you honor God in a relationship?
I think, of course, one thing, like we just said, is honesty. Being honest, being respectful of that person.
That's good.
And also, I think, like, caring for their spiritual well-being is, I think, a way to honor God. And knowing that it's not just about this, like, self-contained thing between you two. It's, like, you can, through loving that person, you can show them God's love, right? Or, like, show them God's grace. And I think that's a good way to honor God.
Dude, that's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I know Philippians 2 kind of talks about that, doing nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit or anything like that. So that goes hand in hand with, in a relationship, right, with a significant other, putting them above yourselves even, and modeling that Christ-like love. That's really cool. So some of these questions are from students. Some of them we just kind of found is like just very good questions that usually come up. But should I date? Or like, when do you know that you're ready to date? Like, Kylie shook her head like, no.
I think in high school, like James has said this so many times, like
It's
you
true.
should not
Shout
date.
out to James.
Yeah, do not date. It's not a good idea. I just think you're just so young and you don't like know what you want, and you don't know like what you need either. So I think figuring yourself out is like super important before throwing someone into your life.
That's pretty good. And I mean, I feel like I'm kind of biased on that end. I can't, or feel pretty hypocritical if I say don't date ever, because I dated in high school and now we're married. But it doesn't always happen, and that's extremely rare. But yeah, any thoughts on that, Taylor?
I didn't date in high school, so, but I don't know if it was because I was like, I am setting out to not date in high school. Like, I think that's just what happened. But I think it was kind of because, it is a bigger commitment and like a bigger thing to add to your life than maybe it seems, because I think it's easy to look at it as something that's fun and enjoyable, but I think when you really do add someone to your life in that way, it's a lot. And so anytime I think I was presented like with the chance to date somebody, it always came down to like, I don't know if that's actually gonna be what's best.
Yeah.
And I think I was really lucky to have avoided a lot of those situations I think would have ended badly, but I get it. It's tough. I get it. It's appealing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. I definitely, and yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. But what do you look for in a significant other? And I guess even going a step further, what do you as like believers look for in a significant other? Kylie, do you have any thoughts on that?
Definitely someone who's also a believer is like a really big one for me, because I've been on like both sides where I've dated someone who's a Christian and then someone who's not, and you have to like see like your values and the other person's values and how like different they are. And I also like want someone that like would help me grow as a person, just like not just keep me the same for like my future and stuff.
That's awesome. What does it look like to grow in a relationship in general?
I think for me, like keeping me motivated, just like making me always like go back to God and like keep my focus there and just like keep me moving on and stuff. But yeah.
That's cool. Because I know, like we mentioned, we talked about this before this, but like you can grow physically too. Like my wallet doesn't grow, but my stomach can grow because you eat a lot. You eat out more. You save. I know you said we save money when you're single.
Oh, right? So much money.
So much money. So much money. So many less dates. So many less things. I think one quote that really stuck out to me from Andy Stanley. I know we talked about this in a dating series before, but it's the idea: are you the person you're looking for is looking for? And it's kind of just a reflection and just thinking about like, man, am I all those things that I'm looking for? Like if I'm looking for a person that's honest and that's loyal, or someone that's caring or respectful to their family, do I do those things too? This is a really good question that came from one of our students. How do you still put God in the center when dating a non-Christian?
I definitely had like friends that I was really close to, like kind of like helped me through it. Obviously it didn't work out because I'm now single by myself. But
I'm now single by myself.
No, but then like I started bringing him out to church, like a little, like not like forcing him to go, but just like to like Sunday service, just to like have him like feel it out, just to like kind of like see how he would feel about it. But then like I think you have to have like those deeper conversations about like what you think of it all and like what you believe and stuff.
Yeah, that's hard. Because I'm not going to sit here and be like, I've never like, been involved with somebody who's not a Christian, because that's like not true. But I would see, looking back at those situations for myself, I know as much as I was trying to keep God at the center for myself and in my own life, it's very difficult to do that when someone so close to you is like not also actively pursuing that, because even if they're not trying to pull you away, like it just, it's the thing where you're like, well, I could just miss church this one time because we're gonna, like he doesn't prioritize church, so maybe like he has plans on, like it's just small things. Or, I would find myself having a hard time opening up about specific things or talking about like, what I felt like God was telling me to do, or like how God was leading me or convicting me. Like those are the things that you kind of just feel like you can't share sometimes. Not because they will react poorly necessarily, but maybe they just don't understand. As much as I think I did try in a lot of those situations to like, oh, but my relationship with God is just between me and God.
Right.
It does, I think, have an effect. So you have to try like twice as hard almost to keep God at the center, I think.
Yeah. No, that's good, because I think in order to put God into the center of a relationship between you and like a significant other, they first have to have a relationship with Jesus. Like that can't even happen unless that person themselves, I think, has a relationship with God, or else it's not going to ever be a priority. And like you said, Kylie, I think that it presents challenges more than anything, right? Just different values. You can't go deeper with them on some of the different things that maybe God is putting on your heart. And I know one verse that sticks out to me is 2 Corinthians 6:14. It talks about like don't be yoked with unbelievers. And I know that doesn't talk specifically about relationships, and it's not like yoked or yoked. It's like an egg.
Yeah.
Egg yolk.
Yes.
But like yoked. And I think about how, like, yeah, it's with two oxes, right? They're yoked together, and if one's taller or one's stronger, then there's an imbalance. And they can't perform the task that was set ahead. So if you want to honor God and bless others and love others through your relationship, that can't be done if it's like super unequally yoked. So yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think it's something that, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on, like, so should I even consider dating a non-Christian?
Well, I will say this, like, I think we probably all know people who we've seen.
Right.
You know, there's one person who's Christian and one not, and then eventually, like, it does work out, and, you know, that person comes to know Christ,
Yeah.
etc.
That's
So it's
awesome.
not to say, like, it absolutely couldn't work out, but I wrestled with that a lot, like, in a specific situation, right? I was like, should I even? I was like, I think I also personally was, like, had my own wrestling with God going on during that time, but I think I tried to justify a lot, like, why
that's good.
it was, I could get away with it. And at the end of the day, I really just felt God telling me, like, Taylor, you're not going to, like, go where I want you to go if you do this, because it's just, yeah, like, you're kind of, like, going a way that's not going to keep me at the center, right?
Yeah.
And so how can you, like, focus on me when you're doing that? And so I would say it's not wise.
Yeah.
It's not wise, but I don't think it's something where I'm going to be like,
Like, you
you
can't
date
ever
a
do
non-Christian,
that.
you're out, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I just don't think it's wise to do that.
That is a very well said way to put that. I like that. It is not wise. So one of the kind of last but fun things, I know that a lot of these students, man, they are thinking about prom. And you know, that's coming up. Honestly, I know some of them, I talk to them, they're like, what do I do for a promposal? And so let's talk about promposals real quick. If you guys can think back, rewind to high school.
Gotta rewind really far.
Rewind. Like, Taylor, think about it. What happened? Or if you want, whatever
Kylie,
you want
you
to
wanna
share.
go first?
That's
Okay.
okay. Kylie,
Oh,
she
God.
wants to. Like, promposal, what did that look like?
Oh, I know you said yours didn't go well.
Sorry. Okay, no. Like, it went, like, I went with friends
Okay.
instead of, like, an actual date. But they, like, did it at my birthday, because my birthday, like, falls right before prom.
Okay.
So they did, like, at my, like, birthday dinner with a bunch of my family. But it was, like, super, like, casual, not a big thing. I, like, don't like being center of attention because I get all embarrassed. So I'm like, don't look at me. But, I mean, I don't know. I think the guys now are like, I have to be original. I have to be different. And I'm
Yeah.
So
like,
much pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know what more you can do.
Yeah.
Like, I
No,
don't
it's
know.
true. I feel like it's
all
everything,
been done.
Everything's already been done. Like, look at the NBA dunk contest. That's just a
Oh.
epitome. Like, it just shows, right? Like, it's just no creativity. It's just things have been done. And it's lame now.
I see.
But do you think, like, guys, there's this pressure, there should be this pressure to do something really grand or big because it's prom? Because maybe girls, like, fantasize or think, like, I'm going to be asked to prom. It's going to be so amazing.
Look, I understand the pressure, especially with social media, although
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe this is an old person's perspective on it. But I don't think there should be that much pressure. Like, I think as long as it's meaningful to, like, the person you're asking, like, you know, for example, if Kylie doesn't want to be put on the spot in front of 100 people, it's pretty not cool of you to do it in front of 100 people,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like you kind of have to consider the person you're asking and, like, what they would find special. And if that person wants it to be really grand, well, then
Go for it.
you picked that date, so that's all you.
That's true. What about you, Taylor?
Okay, so
Yeah, what?
long story short, it's a small group of friends. My prom date was from a different school, but we were, like, good friends, you know. So he had told me for weeks that he had to, like, choreograph this dance for an assembly at his school, and I was like, yeah, cool, sounds good.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then one day we were all hanging out, and he's like, hey, do you guys want to, like, see that dance we've been working on? I was like, yeah, that sounds, let's go. And they're doing the dance, and I was like, wow, really cool. And then they turned around, and it said, like, Taylor Prom on the back of their shirts, and I was like, huh?
What is this about?
Yeah, so I was very surprised, and it was great. But
I heard someone, like, brought flowers
Oh,
out
yeah,
at
yeah.
the time, and it was
Todd,
really, that kind of really cemented it.
yes, Todd was there, and he had to run out, grab the flowers to bring in after the whole dance thing was done, because obviously they're busy dancing.
Yeah, I don't even know why I was there, to be honest. I don't think I was even important. I think they gave
No,
me something. I think they gave me something to do so that I wouldn't feel awkward because
Listen,
I
Todd
just
wasn't
happened to
even
be
part
there.
of this. Well,
I don't think I was. Yeah, so I don't even know why I was there. But anyways. So guys, if you're watching this, do something amazing. Do something original. If you happen to take that person out on a picnic and you think, man, this is going to be a great idea to write it in the sandwich, and you use Nutella.
what did
I use
you wrote
Nutella.
it with Nutella.
Yes, I
How?
tried the night before to write.
With a knife?
Yes, you can write prom on a sandwich. It's like prom ? But then when you put the sandwich together, and then you open it, it does not say prom anymore. It's just Nutella on a sandwich. So I had to put a piece of paper that said prom in the sandwich. And now I'm married. So that's
But wasn't the paper? Didn't the paper have Nutella on it still? You
I
could've,
honestly don't remember though.
Oh,
Man,
made the
maybe
sandwich.
maybe it's because it's that long ago, but maybe we have to ask Nicole. Like, yeah. But also before that, we were playing Words with Friends, and it was like near prom time, and we were just playing, and I'm competitive because Nicole's really smart. I want to beat her. I had prom like on my board. I just put prom, and she texted me like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, really. It's your turn. Come on. What are you talking about?" And then it took me a while to realize I should have just went with it because. So sometimes, guys, if something comes up and it just works, just go with it. But dude, thank you guys. I think that's really cool. Just to hear just some of the different questions that students have, and just to see how, honestly, Kylie is definitely not as far out of high school than we are.
Yeah.
Again, we don't have to say our age. I think I said
You
it
already
already.
did.
But they don't know how old you are in comparison.
Well, okay.
But anyways, even though we're not in high school, I think a lot of the biblical truths and God's truth stays the same, and these things that are timeless. And so even if you're in high school now and you're considering dating, hopefully that this was something that blessed you and something that maybe God has used to speak to you or speak into your situation. And we just encourage you to reach out. We're here for you as your leaders, people that love you and want to walk alongside you, knowing that dating can be really tricky, and there's a lot of different avenues and different ways to look at it. But I think that about does it for us here. So thank you guys, awesome guests. This is our first ever, visual podcast kind of thing. We'll call it that.
Okay.
Visual podcast kind of thing. So if you guys have any feedback, any things you'd like to hear, anything maybe you want to see in the future, let us know in the comments. You can DM us, and you can follow us at SBCCYM on Instagram, on YouTube, where you can stay up to date. Middle schoolers, join us at EVO, which is our middle school ministry, meets Fridays 6:30 to 8:30. Legacies, our high school ministry, Sundays 2 to 4. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. We had a good time. Hope you guys did too. Stay safe, God bless, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.